Bonjour, my name is Dhiralalita, and I am a disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I got my first initiation in Paris, France, 1973, and second in 1974. I am also a Shiksha disciple of Swami B.G. Narasingha Maharaj since 1990. Today I am answering a question posed to me some time ago. Here is a question. If God knows everything, God knows the future. If God knows the future, how can there be free will? Well, this is actually a vague question because first, with this question, we would have to establish who is God or the Supreme Brahman. There is a vast body of Vedic literature to study, however. Jiva Goswami, one of the followers of Lord Chaitanya, and one of the main Goswamis of the time, has established very clearly the different incarnations of God, the material creation, and the importance of the Srimad Bhagavatam as a fifth Veda in his Sat Sandarbhas. And according to him, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we find this verse. Atatatra patamasya dviteye vadanti itadina Tadekam eva tadvam brahmaditaya sabdyate ityuktam. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11. Then from Srimad Bhagavatam we hear the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally in spiritual existence par excellence and has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.3. In other words, God has nothing to do with this material world and He doesn't interfere in the material world, only through His agents may He interfere. The original Swayam Rupa feature of the Supreme Lord is described in the Brahma Samhita 5.1. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. And again, Jiva Goswami in his Krishna Sandarbha confirms that Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. It is confirmed in the third line of this verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 10-18. Sarvatmakam atma bhutam. Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, and the origin of the all-pervading Supersoul. So we can say God is Govinda or Krishna with his expanded energies. In other words, he doesn't act alone, he always has expanded energies. And evidently, I recommend you read the Sat Sandarbhas by Jiva Goswami. Establishing who is the Supreme according to Vedic literature could actually take a few volumes, so I won't go into that right now. So God or Krishna knows your future according to what you are creating as karma, because he is situated in his expansion as Paramatma in your heart. Karma. What is karma? By example, God knows that if you have killed in one of your lives, then this life you will be killed. If you stole, then you lose your money or property. If you have seduced the neighbor's wife, someone will steal your wife, etc., etc. It is not hard for him to see all the intricate karma paths and see the results. He doesn't even implicate himself, but his delegates, his expansions, take care of the material affairs of this world. It is rather complicated. But it is an almost infallible system because he established it from the beginning. Even on a world point of view, he can easily predict what is going to happen to a certain country, a certain world, according to karma, and the people's past actions and reactions. But who created this karma, this future? You and us and our brothers only, not him. He does not interfere in material affairs. You are always free to choose a different path, to act differently, and therefore you have free will. You create your future, and he shows you what happens when you act sinfully, and similarly, when you act piously. Same thing applies for entire nations. A nation may accumulate really bad karma by harassing other countries, hoarding the world's wealth, etc. Then several years or centuries later, that country falls and is destroyed. God sees and comprehends all this, and he does not interfere with the law of karma for the very reason that this gives you free will to create good or bad future for yourself. He just witnesses your actions as Lord Paramatma, his expansion. Lord Paramatma, who is an expansion of Krishna, is situated in every living entity's heart. He is a witness to all our actions, and God makes this material world quite unappealing, mostly, so we can turn to him one day and ask the correct questions. Who am I? Where am I going? And what is my relationship with God? These questions can lead to enlightenment and should be asked by every human being. This world is constructed entirely for our benefit and constructed to free us from the clutches of illusion or God's external energy called Maya. If this material world was peaceful, no wars, no famine, no miseries, we would want to stay there forever. But it is engineered in such a way that happiness and distress come and go in cycle. And like children, if we misbehave, we ultimately get punished. We can easily see this nowadays with Mother Nature. She has been mistreated for a couple hundred years now, and she reacts negatively. We are starting to reap the results of our carelessness. So in this way, we learn not to abuse our small power, or there will be consequences. But to come back to the original question, if God knows everything, God knows the future, if God knows the future, how can there be free will? Then we can establish that we really have free will. Actually, we are conscious entities. We have consciousness. My body may change from youth to old age, but I'm still I. I'm still the consciousness within the body. And consciousness, by definition, means endowed with free will. Without free will, no consciousness can be conceived. So consciousness means free will. By the exercise of his free will, one asserts oneself. The free choice one has made was the first action of coming into the material world. We do have free choice. It is already given to us through our very nature. But it results in consequences. We originally did not accept submission to the Supreme and wanted to dominate. We did not want to be servants, and we chose to be masters. And with this germinal idea of domination, we entered the world of exploitation, the material world. And the consequences of exploitation are added to our free will. This becomes a law of nature. As Einstein would say, with every action, there is an equal opposite reaction. The result of our actions shape the world as we know it. Whatever is material in this world is a result of reaction due to exploitation. The exploitative tendency is there naturally in this world. And this exploitative nature captures us gradually as we entered the material world. So, actually, what is free will? As conscious living entities, our starting point is free will, because free will is endowed with consciousness. But our free will is vulnerable. It is anu, very small, very teeny. Absolute free will is actually only found with the absolute Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because we are very small in comparison, this free will of ours is very small. We are actually very vulnerable. The possibility of committing a mistake is there. So God gives us free will from the very beginning. We can choose to enter the spiritual world or the material world. That was our first choice. We wanted to dominate, and gradually we entered this world of domination. And our future is a result of this first action, which has developed. So we wander in this world from form to form, from the form of Devata, Gandharva, Kinnara, a human being in different placements. And then we go to lower species, like an animal, a tree, or a stone, going through a reincarnation of every species. We may acquire a watery body or a gaseous body. Anything is possible. The world is full of mistakes, our mistakes. Free will has a chance, and God generally does not interfere with the free will of a jiva, the living entity. God is independent, and He does not interfere with the living entity's independence. So the background has been given to us, that is to say, a world and the laws of nature. The relationship with Krishna or God is just like a disobeying son with a father. There are the obedient sons, that is one type, and there are those who have revolted against the guardianship, God, and are seeking their own fortune and getting into trouble. By their independent action, they are far from God's direction, and He can't help. They have gone out of the house and are living in another place and are suffering there. Actually, they are not completely separated from within, but externally separated and suffering. And that gives some affliction to the heart of the guardian or God. It is something like that. When they have gone astray from the direction of the guardian and are suffering, the guardian is not satisfied, so he cannot but try to help them. And he sends some of his men in the garb of friendship to dissuade them from following the wrong path. In this way, the relationship is maintained. But God does not enjoy that fear which comes with a freedom because of misuse. To misuse one's free will, that is inherent in every jiva. And Krishna doesn't like to take away the freedom from any conscious unit. Why? Because there would be no more choice, no more love. The living entity would be reduced to the same state as a stone. There must be choice. So we have choice, and we made the choice. From the time of eternity, we have gone astray. But again, we can come back. So the affectionate guardian still wants that we may come back. Even though the son has disobeyed and gone out and joined the enemy camp, he always tries to take him back. There is free will, because we are parts and parcel of God. God is completely free to do anything He wants. He has absolute free will. And because we are part and parcel of God, therefore we have got a minute quantity of freedom. Just like a drop of ocean water, it is also salty. But the quantity of salt in that drop is not equal to the salt in the ocean. Similarly, you have got a little quantity of freedom, but not the same freedom as God. This is not possible, because by nature, we are subordinate to God. Our freedom is subordinate to God's freedom. Therefore, if we misuse our freedom, then we will become punishable. The government gives you freedom, but if you misuse your freedom, if you violate the laws, then you become a criminal. So you have got free will, but you must learn to utilize it properly. That is real free will. Free will is already there in our very nature. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he has given us free will, but his personal advice is, you stop your so-called free will. Just surrender to me. That is the most confidential teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. He says, if you surrender to me, that will be good for you. But if you go on keeping your misused free will, you'll not be happy. The Mayavadi philosopher says, the Buddhists recommend that you stop this free will, and then you'll become happy. But our proposition in Bhakti Yoga is not to stop free will, but to purify that free will. To purify it. If I am suffering from a cataract, just in order to stop the problem, I won't rip out my eyes. No, I will try to cure the cataract and keep my eyes. But the Mayavadis and personalists and the Buddhist proposition is similar to get out these eyes and throw them away. Then there will be no more seeing and the suffering will go away. Stop everything. That is their proposition. Nirvisheshavadi. Nirvishesha means no specialties, no varieties. That is Nirvishesha. And Sunya means zero, nothing. When it is nothing, there is no question of right or wrong. But our philosophy is not like that. There is no zero, no nothingness. There are varieties, but it is purified varieties. Tat paradvena nirmalam. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 19:170. Nirmalam means purified. So our process is to purify everything. We don't want to stop life and enter into nothingness. The impersonalists cannot find any solution to a misused free will. Therefore, they want to stop everything in order to find peace. Suppose a business is not doing very well. It is going to lose money. Somebody may say, close it. But one experienced businessman may come and say, why should you close it? I can manage it properly and we will get profit. So who is better? One, by disappointment, says, close his business. There is no profit. And another says, no, do not close it. We shall make you some profit. We shall generate you profit. This business just needs to be managed properly. This is how our philosophy works. This is our proposition. We don't say to stop all these material activities. No, rather we say just do it properly so that you get real profit and real benefit. That is what God or Krishna consciousness is all about. We don't want to make it zero. This is Gaudiya Vaishnavism philosophy. People in general have no idea who is the proprietor of this world. So they are doing whatever they feel. They think themselves free. But all they are doing is getting more and more entangled in karma, like a fly caught in a spider web. Therefore, there is confusion. Everyone is thinking that he is a master. He forgets that he has ended up in this situation by his own making, his own fault, and misuse his free will. It says in Bhagavad Gita Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatvamam Santiruchati. Bhagavad Gita 5:29. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and a benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. If you want to stop this chaotic condition, then accept me, Krishna, because I am the enjoyer and proprietor of this whole world, and I am your real friend. Let your actions be done on my account. You take your right rewards. You'll be happy, and there will be no chaotic condition. But here in this world, the position is that everyone is thinking they are the masters, and one is taking as much as possible from the world, while others may be starving. The stronger person will be stealing. This will result in fights. Things become chaotic only because they do not accept that God is the proprietor of everything. That is a problem. Yes, you may steal from God for a while, but it means punishment is awaiting you. We have free will, but literally at gunpoint. Maya is very strong. So when we are under the clutches of Maya, or illusion, she dictates, and you have to do what she influences you to do. This is called Maya. Devi Yesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Bhagavad Gita 7:14. Maya, she's very, very strong. So, mam eva ye prapadyante, mayam etam tarantite. If one is staunchly Krishna conscious, one can avoid her influence. Otherwise, it is not possible. Originally, one by nature is not mixed up with these material things, but one becomes entrapped by one's free will. Free will, just like a man commits theft by his free will, and when he's put into jail, then no more free will. His free will is taken away. He has to act according to the jail superintendent. But he has free will in the beginning of jail life. Nobody forced him to go to jail, but by his actions he has been imprisoned. He also knows that when I am put into jail, I will lose all my freedom. He knows that. Still he has a life of crime, which will put him in jail. He knows. Still he does actions which will lead him there. That is our nature. We have a little independence and we can properly use this independence or not. That is the meaning of independence. And one can use it improperly. Then suffering comes. In that small, minuscule amount of independence we have, it represents our free will in making decisions and choices towards either returning towards God or trying to go on our own way. Therefore, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that the most confidential part of knowledge I'm giving you, Arjuna, because you are my very intimate friend, I'm asking you to give up your nonsense plans. Sarva dharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha shirshami matsuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Bhagavad Gita 1866. That is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter. Just surrender to me. This is the most confidential knowledge. You can misuse your independence, but I am instructing you most confidentially because you are my intimate friend. Don't make evil plans. Just surrender to me. In other words, don't foolishly try to become God or imitate God. Don't become a small God. You remain a servant. Surrender to me. This is the ultimate instruction. If you have no free will, then you are a stone. The stone has no free will. But don't misuse your free will, and don't try to become like a stone, like the Mayavadis and the Buddhists. That is not real life. If you want to misuse that free will, Krishna will give you all facilities. But that will not be good for you. But Krishna will give you the intelligence required for any of your schemes. First of all, God wants you that you enjoy it. But he says, just like the father says to the son, Dad, why are you suffering? Come to me. I shall give you all protection. But the son is recalcitrant. So what will the father do? God could force you to come to him, but it doesn't do it. Otherwise, what is the meaning of the free will? He has given you free will, God has free will, and because you are part and parcel of God, you also have free will. And if God takes it away and kills that free will, then what is your wealth? And God has nothing to do with your good or bad karma. You have worked for it, and you have got the result of your actions. That is all. All these varieties of work will not solve your material question of birth, death, old age, and disease. You will never be happy or satisfied. That is the position. You may be as rich as your heart desires, but that doesn't mean that you will be free from all disturbances. Therefore, in our philosophy, these endeavors are simply a waste of time. Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita gives Arjuna the choice. He gives him the choice, which is amazing. Now, whatever you like to do, you can do. He does not force him to surrender. Bhagavad Gita 1863. Iti te gyanam akyatam guyad guya taramaya vishri shyatad asheshena yate chachi tatakuru. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. That is free will. But he has explained to him in details how one can only know me through devotional service, how any action can become purified by bhakti, being always conscious of him and under his protection, and thus thinking of him and serving him. The living entity can pass over all obstacles and attain him by doing this. If one walks under his directions, he will get out of the clutches of Maya, and if one decides not to act under Krishna's guidance, he will still act anyway, and therefore there will be reactions. So in this beautiful verse, he summarizes everything. Bhagavad Gita 1861. Ishvara savabhutanam hrideshe runja tishtati brahmaya sarvabhutani yantrarudani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everybody's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all the living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. Bhagavad Gita 1861. In this verse, he gives Arjuna the choice to surrender or not. He does not take away his free will. And finally, he gives the ultimate advice in Bhagavad Gita 1862, just surrender to me. Now I have given you all instruction. It is up to you to accept or reject. Yatecha chi tata kuru, Bhagavad Gita 1863. Do what you wish to do. That is free will. So now everything depends on you whether you shall act according to the instruction of God or shall act according to your whims or sensual inclinations. You're free to choose. Thank you very much. This text is actually due to the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, and the addition of knowledge from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you have enjoyed seeing our take on this question. If you liked my video and would like to see more answers through the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, please give me a thumb up. And if you are not subscribed, I would love for you to do so. Au revoir et à bientôt.